Does there need to be physical damage to qualify for loss of rents? For example, if the county shuts down short-term rentals, what would be covered?
Yeah, this is a great question. And I think this ultimately goes back to COVID-19 and the shutdowns that happened. And then also just more of a general question. Great question. Now, in order for there to be an insurance claim, there has to be some type of direct physical loss to property, right? That's the premise of this. Now, the insurance companies are not bad guys. Remember, there's very small underwriting profit from these companies that give you this insurance for fire and water damage and wind and hail. So the insurance companies are not the bad guys, but we have to structure the contract in a way that everything possibly imaginable is covered. So there must be direct physical loss to property, okay? That's just the reality of it. Now, there is a small section of a commercial policy that's called civil authority. And this is where the confusion came in with COVID. So if a local community, if a government agency shuts down access to your vacation rental property as the result of a covered cause of loss, then you have 90 days worth of business income coverage, okay? I'm going to use an example, Bozeman, Montana, where I live. About 10 years ago, there was a gas explosion of a building in downtown Bozeman. It just blew up. It was an unfortunate incident. Thankfully, only one person actually died, but they closed down Main Street. Okay, this is about 10 blocks of historic, think of an old Western town. They closed it down, and it was closed down for about 10 days while they shut off the gas. They had to check things to make sure there weren't going to be more explosion. How did this happen? So on and so forth. So if you're a coffee shop owner and you're in downtown Bozeman, there's no access to your coffee shop now. The government came in, shut down Main Street, and said, everything's closed for 10 days. That's a lot of coffee. That's a third of a month. Those businesses in downtown Bozeman had business income insurance via civil authority. Because let's think of the form again. They've shut down access to your property as a result of a covered cause of loss. Explosion, fire is covered. They shut it down. You have a legitimate claim for 10 days worth of business income, $5,000, $10,000, whatever it was. That's why it's in there. We've actually have testimonials from paying business income claims for people in forest fire areas who access to their property was shut down. Everybody's got to remove the area for 3 weeks. We have one in Colorado from 2 years ago. That's a legitimate business income claim. Hey, I can't rent my property. The government shut down access to my property. People can't drive here anymore as a result of fire damage, covered cause of loss. So that's why civil authority is written into these business policies. Now let's think of COVID. The government came in, shut down the restaurant industry. Nobody's allowed to go to restaurants. Why did they shut it down? For potential spread of COVID-19. Okay, this is unfortunate, but was there direct physical loss to a property? The only direct physical loss to property that could have happened is that your property became contaminated with the virus. So what would be the remedy of that contamination? To have the property cleaned. So a cleaning crew comes in and disinfects the entire restaurant, and you're open for business again the next day. So the million-dollar question, and this has gone all the way to the Supreme Court in a lot of states, and the judges have ruled in favor of the insurance companies. So there is no coverage because the assumption that a virus may be on a surface in your vacation rental or restaurant is not a direct physical loss to property. So it's an unfortunate situation, but at the end of the day, who's going to pay for the lost business income? Fortunately, our federal government stepped in and did the PPP program, where they said small businesses, including vacation rentals, you're a business, make no mistake, can apply for this government funding to replace some of that income. Because if it had been covered, let's say yes, the Supreme Court comes out and says, you know what? We're going to rule and say that these contracts are unfair and that business income is covered for all restaurants, all bars, all vacation rentals. It would have been in the hundreds of billions of dollars of claims, and the insurance industry would have been wiped out. Because again, we charge a premium for a transfer of risk, and there's not enough money from premiums to pay these claims.
Thank you, Darren.